If you build e-commerce websites using WooCommerce and Elementor Pro, this video will completely change the way that you design your checkout pages. We'll build a professional checkout layout from scratch, inspired by the best online stores in the world, to make the experience clean, fast, and friction-free for your customers. I'll show you how to customize every detail, all directly in Elementor, and we'll optimize it for mobile to make sure it looks perfect on any device. And for those who want to take it further, I'll share free code snippets you can copy and paste to reorder and simplify checkout fields, improve the payment section design, and add custom elements like reviews or trust badges where Elementor doesn't allow it by default. And now let's dive in and build a modern, high-converting WooCommerce checkout together, the WP Roads way. Speaking of checkout optimization, I want to start this video with something most people overlook: the foundation of every e-commerce website: performance and security. If you're tired of your store loading slowly, or if you keep losing customers at checkout, the problem might be deeper than you think. It might be your hosting. When I build an online store, the first question I ask myself is: will this website be able to handle traffic spikes during Black Friday? Will it stay fast and secure with hundreds of people checking out at the same time? That's exactly when I would choose to use a hosting like Cloudways. It's a managed cloud hosting platform that gives you incredible speed, stability, and peace of mind, without the headaches of manual server management. When I create my account on Cloudways, I can choose between different providers like DigitalOcean, AWS, Google Cloud, and many others. And everything is handled through a super clean dashboard, perfect even for beginners. I really love this design. They have automatic daily backups and auto-scaling option in their autonomous plan, which is, by the way, one of my favorites. This plan instantly assigns more resources automatically when your store traffic explodes. That's awesome. I've been testing Cloudways for some time, and I must say that it runs beautifully. You can try it yourself with a free trial if you want to test their flexible Cloudways plans. And if you use my link in the description, you will get a 30% off automatically applied for the first 3 months. Plus, they have a migration service that you can use when you want to move your store from another hosting to Cloudways, so you can finally say goodbye to slow load times and unreliable hosting. Use my link in the description, create your account, and then, why not, create and test your new checkout on Cloudways. And now, let's get started customizing and optimizing our checkout page using WooCommerce and Elementor Pro. So let's say that you're starting from this kind of situation where you have a checkout in WooCommerce and Elementor Pro, and you're not yet optimizing it. So it is pretty basic. You see this page with header and footer, and you have the checkout widget, which is basically as it is, as you see it here, when you drop it inside a page using Elementor Builder. So in order to be able to use this and to follow along this tutorial, of course, you will need to have WooCommerce installed, but also Elementor Pro. So if it is not the case yet for you, please consider also using my affiliate links in the description box below to upgrade and buy the advanced solo or higher licenses for your e-commerce website. You will find this link in the description box below, wproads.com/elepro. And when you land on this page, you will be able to choose your license. And as I was mentioning here, you have the Advanced Solo, which is perfect if you're running an e-commerce website. In fact, you will have all the e-commerce features, and you will have access to 86 Pro widgets, including the widget that we're going to use in this video, which is the Elementor WooCommerce Checkout widget. So just go buy this license and install it into your website. Now, as I was mentioning, we're going to go from this situation here to a complete and customized checkout, as you see here, without header and footer and with many different elements that will contribute to enhance the conversion rate of your e-commerce website. Look. So we're going to create this kind of checkout together right now. And we're going to address all the problems that you face when you're using WooCommerce and Elementor Pro. For example, all those styling problems, and even the fact that you cannot really choose the position of all the elements here in the building details, for example, or the checkout here looks quite ugly if you do not use some custom CSS, for example. And there's no way to add this kind of optimization, like, for example, show a customer review right beside the Stripe and PayPal and payment methods. So you're going to find all these indications in this video. Let's go and check it out, how you can check out this checkout. We're going to start by creating a new page. Okay, it's going to be a new page where we're going to start from scratch, and we're going to call this page New Checkout, for example, or Checkout version 2, as you wish.
You don't need to assign this page as a checkout page immediately, and you can just take the time to craft your checkout into this page, and then when you're ready, you can tell to WooCommerce to use this specific page as a checkout for your store. So let's call this page checkout tutorial in my case, okay? And you can call it new checkout version 2, whatever you want. And we can enhance with we can edit with Elementor. You can also edit directly your checkout page, but I will recommend you maybe to make your first tests into a separate page, and then you will assign this page as a checkout for your WooCommerce store. All right. And now we have enabled Elementor in this page, and you will see that we have a special widget called checkout. In fact, we search here for checkout. All right. We're going to have this one, checkout, and we can drag and drop this checkout widget here. So this is already a good starting point. As you can see, we have all the elements in place. We just need to make them look a little bit better because as you see here, it's a bit of a mess. And we're going to go from this situation to this one that we saw at the beginnings. And we're going even to take this a step forward because we're really going to customize all those fields here, the billing details, for example, by choosing which fields we want to show, how you want to show them, 50-50, for example, or 100% length, or yeah, we can change everything here. And we're also going to optimize the dropdown here, which doesn't look very well in general in WooCommerce and Elementor Pro widget. So we are in this situation. We have published or just save as a draft our page if you prefer. And then we can have a preview and we're going to see that our checkout is going to look like this. Okay. So very disorganized and very distracting. You see, you land on this page, you see, when you say, what should I do? And when you are here, it's more clear. You see, we can immediately pay if you want with Apple Pay or Google Pay. We can fill our billing details. It's clear and it's easy to see also the recap of our products. And we have also a clear call to action here to pay. Okay, let's go and start transforming this widget here. And the first thing I would suggest you to do is to make this page Elementor Canvas. So we're going to remove the header and the footer to make sure that the attention of our visitors, of our customers, will be just focused on the checkout, which this is very important. This is the first step. So we go to the page settings. They might be here or here to the top left because Elementor is upgrading the top bar. So maybe you should find some of these icons here differently positioned on the top bar. For now it's here, but it might be here on the top left. And when you access the page settings, you will see that in the settings page, you have this page layout and you can change it to Elementor Canvas. All right. So now we do not have header and footer, and it is already better because the focus, the attention of the visitor is going to be just on the checkout. We can add another container here to the top, which is going to be the container that we're going to use to insert elements like the badges here for secure payment, fast shipping, or other benefits that the user is going to have by buying on our checkout, on our e-commerce. We're going to also insert this back to cart button. And if you want, you can also add some other badges like this one, for example, with all the payment methods accepted. And let's go and check this and modify this. We're going to add a Flexbox container from top to bottom. And we're going to add some padding. So we're going to use this container here with an advanced setting of... In the Advanced tab, I'm going to choose a different padding. I'm going to unlink values, and I'm going to use actually here rem. I prefer to use rem, and I will place to the top... let's say 2 rem and to the bottom 2 rem. I'm going to do the same here with a checkout container here, Flexbox container, advanced tab, unlink values, rem. All right, top 2 and bottom 2. Okay, now I'm going to be able to insert here a heading. So it's going to be my checkout heading. Okay, I'm just going to keep it H1 and I'm going to write checkout in my case. I'm going to align this to the center. Okay, so that we are going to be closer to this, you see? Okay, now I can create all the other elements. I can place to the top a container, or a grid is even better in my case, that I will use to contain all the different badges, you see? So in my case, I will keep it like this. It's going to be a grid of 3 columns and just 1 row, okay? And below here, I'm going to use another container to create another badge by showing all the accepted payment methods. Okay, so the structure is going to be this one, a grid with 3 elements here, the checkout title, and here another badge that I'm going to use to show all the payment methods accepted. You can use also the same structure to showcase different kind of elements. You can showcase here, for example, latest reviews, of your best customers, or anything that can enhance the experience of the user and make it feel more comfortable buying on your website, of course. The more you are specific and welcoming and warming and reassuring, the better is going to be your conversion rate, of course. I'm just going to check here in the advanced tab. I was using pixels, but in fact, I need to use rem 2 and bottom 2. Okay, now it's good. Okay, now we can proceed by creating all the badges. Let me show you the design flow that I use when I create badges like the one that you see here. For example, it's pretty easy, and I'm going to show you very fast how I do it. So I'm going to use a container inside my grid. So I'm going to paste my container, drag and drop my container here. And inside the container, I can paste whatever I want. Actually, in this case, I can also avoid to use multiple containers if my element will be simple to design. So let's keep it simple. I will delete this. If you need a complex structure, you should use a container. If you use a simple structure, like for example, a widget, like the icon widget, you see this one, icon box, you can keep it simple like this and just use your icon box. Okay, let's go like this. I'm going to use the icon box by also providing a specific design. So let's go here and change the icons. I have some free icons on my e-commerce website here. Okay, now I have my icon in place and my text, and I'm going to style this element here. I'm going to keep this to H4, okay? And I'm going also to make the style a little bit different. I'm going to align everything to the left. I'm going to center align the icon, okay? And I'm going also to change the spacing here to be a little bit less, 10 pixels, and the content spacing also is going to be 0 pixel in my case. I'm also going to change my icon dimensions to make it a little bit less big, and I'm going to use my global colors. If you're not set up yet a global color system and a global font system with Elementor, I suggest you to watch my related tutorial that I will leave you in the description box below, because it's very important that you learn to do so to save time. In my case, I will use this primary color for my icon, and I will go and change my size to 25 pixels, maybe something more, maybe 35 pixels. I'm going to change these values when I am on tablet and mobile, but we'll keep this for the end. And if you want, you can also change the content, which is exactly what I'm going to do. The content here is going to be different. I'm going to use here for the title, for example, an extra small title, and I'm going to use for the text here global typography, which is my text extra small. All right. Looks beautiful. I'm going to change the color of my text, which is this one. The description text is going to be the soft gray text, and the main color I'm going to keep it like this. Okay. Now I can also add a background, and I'm going to use the advanced tab actually here to add it. The background here is going to be of a specific color. Let's say that I want my checkout to be like this, so I will assign a white color here in the background, and I will assign to the whole checkout page a specific color. So let's go and do that. It's going to be like this, so the white color is going to be assigned as a global color. I have a global white color, and I'm also going to work with the layout tab to add some padding. I will use rem here, and I will use 1 rem of padding, and I will also add a border radius. Let me add a border radius. The border is going to be a solid border of 1 pixel, and the border radius is going to be also, actually I'm using variables on this website, so I can do it like this. Variable, global radius. This is my variable. All right. And if you want to learn how to use them, you should also check my full e-commerce tutorial with WooCommerce and Elementor Pro, which is also linked in the description box down below, where I show you how you can create a beautiful e-commerce exactly as this one, with advanced settings and everything you need to design the website, the e-commerce website, and also to manage all the technical part of WooCommerce. Basically, in this tutorial, you will find everything you will ever need when you create an e-commerce website from scratch using WooCommerce and Elementor Pro. Look, this is the shop page, for example. You have all the filters, you have all the different elements here on the bar. Then you can easily go and check your products, and you will be able to customize here everything step by step in my tutorial. Then we have our cart here, beautiful, with some advanced upsells and cross sells. Then we can go to the checkout, and that's it. So if you want to check out this tutorial, just go and check the links in the description box below. Let's go on now by continuing to editing our cards, and I'm going to assign a border color. It's going to be a global variable color, this one, and let's have a preview of this page. It's going to look very nice and simple. There it is. Now we should also place maybe this content here more centered if we can do so. But in my case, since I'm not using a container, but just a simple widget, I'm not having very much the control of this. So I'm just going to duplicate this. All right. And I'm going to insert all the other different elements. So in the second one, for example, I'm going to change the icon. So I have styled and changed also the content of all the elements. I can publish and have a preview of my checkout right now. And it's going to start looking better than before, you see? So we have this beautiful design now in place. We have all those badges here, fast shipping, free returns, secure payment. And as I was mentioning, you can also use the same layout if you want to display some reviews of your customers, for example. In our case, we're going to learn how you can place the reviews here right below the billing fields, the billing details, and this is going to be also a strategic place because it's going to be just close to the payment section, and it's going to enhance also the secure feeling of the customer when they are going to pay, of course. And we can also repeat those badges below here if you want. I'm going to show you how to do that at the end of the video. Okay, so we have our first section here. We're going to change now the background of the whole page. So we're going to go back to our page settings, and we're going to go to the Style tab and assign a background type. In my case, I want to keep the background light, but I still want to use it to enhance also the visibility of all the other fields you see here. So I'm going to do that, and let's keep it simple. I'm just going to use a background color, a global one. It's going to be my light background. Maybe it's going to be this one, background light. You see, it's very light, but it is already good in order to you to make your focus more on the different elements that needs to be focused, of course. In this case, the checkout elements here, and also the badges that will reassure the customer that everything will work smoothly and fine during their checkout process. Okay, now let's go on by adding the second badge here with all the accepted payment methods. Actually, we're going to optimize this one, and no, we're going to use the same one actually. So let's copy and paste these elements here, and I'm going to use a simple container here, as you can see. And I'm going to use text editor, okay, to copy and paste the text inside here. I'm just use the code mode, and I'm pasting here my text. And then I'm going to duplicate, no, not duplicate, but I'm going to add a new element, which is going to just be an image, a simple image. All right. I'm going to select this image as a very small one, just custom. Okay, I'm going to do custom and a width of 250, and I will apply this. And then I will go and change the image. I already have my image in place here. Okay, I will leave you the link of some of these elements and resources if you want in my free resources. So you can just go here, you subscribe for free, and then you will access to all the elements that I'm using during the video, the code snippets that we're going to use later. And also I will give you maybe the link to my folder when I have some images and stuff that you can just pick and take for your own checkout if you want, which are going to be, for example, this element here with the payment methods, or even just this secure checkout element here. And if I have them, also some more elements, of course. Let's select this one, okay. Let's go now and use our Flexbox container settings in order to place these elements like this, so horizontally. And to do that, we select the container, the main container, and we change the direction to be horizontal. Beautiful. We align the elements, the items to the center, and we just simply make everything stretch by using the width of this element, which is going to be, in my case, let's keep it full width, but we're going to use pixels. And we're going to use a maximum width of 520 pixels. Now we need to place this element here to the center. Like this is not going to work because we're going to work now on the main container, okay? And we're going to tell this container into the layout settings that we want all the elements to be aligned to the center. Okay, now it's working fine. I'm going to change here the dimension of this text to be a little bit different. So I'm going to the Style tab, and I'm going to assign my text extra small, and I'm also going to change here in my case the let me check, the color is going to be different. I'm going to try with this one, and I'm going to change also the background of this element here. So we're going here to the main container, to the advanced tab. We're going to use this rem padding of one rem, okay, and we're going to style the background. So style background classic is going to be the global white color. And I'm going to actually copy and paste here, copy and paste settings just for the border. Paste style, you see, so that, no, it didn't work. Yes, I think that it didn't work because the style here is applied not to the container but to the widget. So we need to do that to do it by hand. We select the container, we go to the border, and we simply go and assign my variable as a border radius. Okay, so that I'm sure that I will control this globally. Okay, and then I have my border, which is going to be a solid 1 pixel, and it's going to be assigned with the color, with the global border light color. This one. Okay, so let's have a quick preview. It's going to look very nice. This spacing here, it's a little bit too much, so let's see if this is going to be exactly the space that we're going to see. Okay, we can make this closer. This checkout fields closer to here if you want. Anyway, you can go and change all the elements design here as you wish. You can test different structures. I think that if we keep it like this, we need to separate a little bit more the checkout text here from the rest. So we're going to go inside here, and we're going to the layout system. We're going to assign a rem value here, and we're going to use 2 rem. Look what happens now. It's going to be more even. Yeah, spaced more evenly. Let's see a preview. Okay, now it breathes better, and it is more harmonious, and it works very nice. Okay, now what I need to do, I need just to check the implementation from tablet and mobile. Let's do that. In tablet, it's going to look like this. I think it's quite cool, and actually we can't do very much in tablet here. We just can go to the style tab. Maybe if you want, you can change actually the positioning of the elements if you prefer. On tablet, you can keep them like this, for example, and you can change the icon spacing to be just 0, for example. And yeah, I actually like this, so I will just copy and paste my style. It's going to work fine. Okay, so that in my desktop is going to be like this. And when I switch to tablet mode, it's going to look like this. I really like it, actually, so I will keep it like this. On tablet, I want this image to be a little bit less prominent, so I will keep it, for example, into the style tab, a maximum width of 200 pixels, maybe something less, let's say 100 pixels, okay? And these elements inside the container, I want it to be spaced differently. So I want to go to the layout here, and I want them to be spaced between, like this, so that I'm sure that this element is going to be aligned to the right, and this one here is going to be aligned to the left. Let's go back to our desktop view, and actually even here I can assign a different width to this element here. I can make it a little bit less intrusive. Okay, let's say 180 or 170. Okay, it's gonna look better. And this all settings here, I'm going to change also the spacing here to make sure that everything is spaced between. Okay, perfect. Actually, I want to change also here this. Oh, right, this is way better. Okay, perfect. Looks better. Publish. Let's go to have a preview here, and it's gonna look very nice, you see? Okay, maybe it's a little bit too small now, but you saw how easy it is to change here the settings, so we can go back to 220 maybe, and we can publish and have a preview here, and it's gonna look very nice. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we can go on and check on mobile. So let's go and check on mobile what happens. And here I think that it is too much, you see? It takes up too much space. This when we are on mobile, we just need to see immediately all the checkout fields. So what can we do? We can do 2 different things. We can just hide all those elements, or we can make it very, very tiny and little. Let's try to optimize them in order for them to occupy the less amount of space possible. So we're going to switch back to this kind of settings. We're going to assign this as a 5, maybe even 10 pixels, okay? And we're going to assign the same now to all the others. Doesn't work, apparently. Copy and paste style. Okay, it is not working, so we're going to assign it manually, like this. And it's going to be still 10, and we're going to do the same here. So you see that the space is already optimized now. Okay. We can actually try to center everything, but it's not going to work very well, so we can keep it like this. And we can try actually to also make all the elements closer inside the container itself. So we keep 1 column. We can also test with 2 columns. It's too much. Yeah, actually it's too much like this. It could be interesting, but it's a little bit too much. Or we can also play around with the elements like this. Actually, if we go like this, it's going to look better on mobile. Okay, We can keep this to 0 again. This is another consideration that you can do, of course, when you are optimizing the layout on mobile. It's gonna look interesting. Okay, let's try 3. It's a little bit too much, I think. If you work with different wording and different size for the elements, it might work better. But in my case, I will keep it, I think, just on... it's cool like this, actually. Let's try to diminish the gaps between the columns. Let's make it to 0. It could work fine, actually, like this also on mobile. Okay, publish. Let's have a quick preview also like this. We're going to inspect here, and we're going to enable our container, our preview from responsive. Oh, beautiful! I really like it, actually. Looks fine. It should work fine on different sites. As you see, we are in a very narrow environment here, and it works fine. Yeah. Okay. Just check it out and test it in different mobile environments, and I think that in my case it will work fine like this. And I will just change here my second element. Also here the gaps will be just 0, okay, and I will place everything to the center, okay. And if it doesn't work well, because I see that this element here is not to the center, it is not respecting this, I will try just to select this advanced and to place it to the center. Okay, it's not working. I will just make it grow, actually, okay. And I will align the text here to the center when we are on mobile, okay. Perfect. I will also assign here a negative margin when we are on mobile. So the bottom is going to be negative margin about -10. Okay, it is just a matter of details, but I think that is going to work very nice like this. Okay. You see how easy it is? And we can also make all the elements a little bit closer, so that, for example, in the main container that we have here, the first one, we can change the gaps to be 1 rem, so that everything is going to be a little bit less spaced, because on mobile we just need to go directly to what matters, which are the building details you see here. So we have still all those elements. We have, let me actually check this into an incognito window so I can really have a feeling of what is going to look like. Let's check out now. I'm opening here an incognito tab. I'm going to open this. I'm going to inspect from mobile. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that everything is going to look fine. Okay. This is beautiful. You see, so on mobile, I'm going to see it like this. Cool. Okay. Let's go back to our beautiful checkout. And now let's attack the second part here, which is the e-commerce fields, which is the WooCommerce checkout fields. Okay. Let's go back to our desktop view. Okay. And here, basically, it's pretty intuitive and easy to do, because you can just select the widget and you make sure to assign the right content settings and the right style settings. So, for example, you can change the layout to 2 columns or 1 column if you prefer. You can keep the right column sticky, so when you scroll, it will be sticky on the right. Then you can also change the offset. For example, you can paste the offset of 20 pixels, so that is not going to be attached to the top here. Then you can change some other details for all the other elements. For the returning customers, for example, you can change the text here, the wording. You can click change here, and you can change the alignment of the elements. Yeah, you can work around a little bit all the elements. In my case, I will keep it simple. The building details, you can change them here. Unfortunately, you cannot change the order or some other stuff, like, for example, make some elements visible or not. You see that you can just change a few things here. Some wording for some elements. You can change the alignment of the title here, for example, and some other stuff. Nothing very, very important, of course. Let's go to the shipping details. You see the same stuff here. You can change a little bit of wording for some inputs and so on. Then we have the additional information. We can change the way that this is going to display just for the title, as you can see here, or add a comment or add a message, for example, or add a message to your order. And you can also change here to be hidden. If you prefer not to show this field, you can hide it. It depends on the kind of e-commerce that you're running, of course. Then you can change this create an account wording. So if you want to create an account, make sure to check this checkbox. For example, you can change the text here. Your order is this one, is the order recap. Okay, you can add your order summary, for example. Okay, and it's going to look here like this. You can change also here the center or alignment. The coupon section, you can decide to show it or not, and it's going to look like this here. This is the coupon section, and you can change here all the call to action and so on. Click here to enter it, for example, to keep it more simple. Have a coupon, click here to enter it. Okay. Then you can change also the alignment here, and you can change also the alignment of the button, but in my case, I will keep it like this, simple. Or you can also justify it if you want. And the payment section is the last one here. And I have read and agreed to the website terms and conditions. You can change the wording and you can change the alignment here. I will keep it simple. This is the purchase button alignment, and I will keep it simple. Then you can go and style everything. As you can see here, when you decide to style everything, you can also go and go each section one by one. This is the global part, and then if you want, you can also click on customize, and you have some additional details for all the different sections that you can enable if you want. Let me show you how this is going to work. By the way, I show all this in my full e-commerce tutorial with Elementor Pro that I will link you in the description box below if you want to go and check it out. Here you can change the background color of all the sections, you see, in one click. I will suggest you to keep it simple. In my case, I will keep the global white color that I'm using throughout the website. You can change here the border type. I will keep it solid with a width of 1 pixel, and I'm going to assign my global border light color, which is the same that I have assigned also to the elements on the top of the page here, so that my design is going to be consistent. And I'm going to assign also a specific border radius here. It's going to be the border radius that I'm using throughout the whole website using the variable, which is this variable, okay? Global radius, in my case, I'll call this variable, okay? And it's going to work fine like this. The padding, I'm not going to change it because I'm pretty okay with this. If you want to change it, by the way, you can just go here and do that. I'm going to use this. I'm going to show you how this is going to work. You see, if I change the padding, it's going to be applied throughout the whole sections. I'm going to try to use 2rem, which is the same that I used also here, I believe. Oh no, here was 1 maybe. Anyway, it's looking fine like this for me, 2rem, and I will keep it like this. Okay, margin, I do not touch it. I keep it like this. You can then go and edit the typography. In my case, it is already good for me. Maybe I will just try to change the title's typography to be a little bit more visible. So I'm going to change it to be S title. Okay, you see that it is a little bit too, yes, it's good actually, because the user, it's a little bit more guided like this. The secondary titles, let me check here, which is going to be changing. Okay. It is pretty interesting, and we need to make it a little bit visible. So it is this one and also this one here with the coupon. These are the secondary titles actually, and I have changed now the settings and they look fine. I'm just going to change the color to be a little bit more visible. Okay. Okay, have a coupon, click here to enter. Beautiful. And I can change also the description's color. Look, for example, this is a description and I want it to be a different color. If I want, I can use my text color, which is exactly what I wanted to do exactly. And I'm going to change the typography to be the text extra small. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to change also my, let me check here if I use actually the different color, which is this one, a little bit less aggressive. And yeah, it's going to work fine actually, yes. We have the same applying also in other parts of the checkout, okay? And then we're going to change also some spacing and stuff like this. Let's go on by finishing here the styling. The messages color is going to be a little bit different. We're going to use the text. Let me check here if this is going to be applied, for example, somewhere here. I think so. So let's just assign us, yes, this is the message color, you see. This is a specific message, and actually we can keep it with the light gray if we want. So let's do that. In my case, I'm using a text soft gray so that this is not going to be very important actually. So I'm going to change it like this. I'm going to make the typography also global here. Actually, I do not have a dedicated typography, so I will use the same one that I'm using throughout the whole checkout, but it's going to look fine actually like this. Then I'm going to change the checkboxes color. I'm going to use actually the same layout for those. So it's going to be this one, and the color is going to be the same. Let me check this. It's going to work fine, but it's going to be a little bit less visible. So I'm going to make sure just to make it the right color. This one is going to be better. This one, you see? Okay, so this is very important checkbox. So Make sure that, and the radius buttons here, I'm going to change the color to be sure to be text. Okay, so this is going to show up like this. And the typography here, let's check if this is going to work fine. Okay, I think this is going to work very well, but we can also check another one, like for example, this one is going to be a little bit bigger actually, and I'm really, yeah, I think that I'm going to use this one, the text extra small. Okay, it's going to be better for me. Beautiful. Okay, looks very nice. Okay, so you get the idea here. You just need to go through all the different settings: forms, order summary, purchase button, customize. The customize, it's only if you need to customize further some billing detail settings, returning customer settings, and so on. And these are just all the global settings that are going to be applied throughout the whole checkout settings here. Let's go now and check how you can style the forms. This is very important because it's going to give all the look and feel of the checkout. And it is actually very important to have some forms that will look very well on the front end, and it will be very easy and satisfying to feel for our customers. In my case, we're not going to touch the column gap and the row gap. We're going just to enable a little bit. Let's change it to 10, even something more. Let's try 20. 20 is going to look very nice, I think, in my case. I'm going to change now the labels color to be a little bit less visible. I'm going to use my soft gray, okay? And I'm going to change the typography to be text small, so that is going to be a little bit smaller, okay? Then I'm going to change the spacing, not yet, no, the spacing actually I'm going to keep it like this. And the fields settings here is going to be like this. I'm going to change the typography to be also text extra small. Okay, and I'm going to change here the color to be a little bit more visible, like this. This is very important. And I'm going to change the background type to be white. Color is going to be global white. And I'm going to assign now a border. This is very important. So the border here is going to be the border type, a solid one. Is going to be 1 pixel as always. And it's going to be the border color, the light border that we're going to use, in my case, throughout the whole e-commerce website. Okay, you see it looks way better, I think, in my opinion. It's better. And we're going to assign also a border radius, which is going to be the global border radius that we're going to use throughout the whole website. So variable, in my case, I will keep it like this. Global radius. All right. Global radius. Beautiful, simple, and effective. Now we're going to check also the padding. If you want, you can change a little bit the padding here of your different elements. Let's try something different. For example, let's try about 10 pixels padding. Okay, in my case, 10 pixels looks very nice, and I think that I will keep it like this, 10 pixels. Then we can go and style the buttons. This is very important. So this is going to be assigned the style to all the buttons, I hope, that we are going to have in our checkout. Sometimes it doesn't work very well. So let's try to see how this is going to work. And for example, if this is going to apply to this button and to this button here. Let's go and see the typography, for example. It's going to be my button typography that I'm using throughout the whole website. Okay, it has been applied here, for example, but not here. And it has been applied here, but not to the checkout button here. So we know that this button here, we need to change the styling in a different way. I'm going to show you this in a few seconds. But actually, in my case, I want to keep here the things simple. So I'm going to assign this different styling. And it's going to work fine. Okay, I have my buttons here. And also here, the button padding, I'm going to keep it 10 pixels to make it the same of all the other elements. And it's going to work very well. Okay. And the border radius is going to be also here assigned globally using my variable. The border type is going to be solid. The border width is going to be 1 pixel. And the color of our borders is going to be the border light. Okay. In my case, since these are buttons, I will change a little bit things around. It's going to be actually my primary color here. And I'm going to assign also my text color is going to be different. It's going to be my primary or... Yeah, the primary is going to work fine, actually. I'm going to change also the hover behavior. The hover behavior is going to be my text is going to change to be text, okay? And my background type is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be my background light. Okay, so that I have this effect here. And also my border color is going to change to be to be my primary one. No, not on the primary, sorry, but the black one, the border dark one. Okay. Let me check it out. Okay, exactly what I wanted. You see, I also have the same behavior here on the login button. And in my case, I like it. So I'll keep it like this. Let's go on here. Okay, we have everything in place correctly. So this was the hover behavior. And so regarding the buttons, we just finished everything here. The forms, you see, all our forms are in place correctly. Let's go back to the typography actually to see if there's a global way to change the color of our titles. Yes, there is. So we're going to use this text here. And actually, I wanted to see if there is a way to change the color of the links throughout the whole checkout. I think that there is a way. Yes, is this one, the link color. I'm going to assign my global link color, which is this one. All right, so that is going to look very, very nice like this. You see, more coherent from a design point of view. Just by changing my link color, everything looks better. And I'm going to change also the hover behavior, which is going to be, let me check, for example, this one. Yes, it's going to be cool like this. And I will keep it like this. So normal and so on. All right, perfect. What do I have to check? Yes, I think that everything looks very nice. I have to publish now and have a preview to see how this is going to behave in the front end. Let's also get rid of the mobile responsive preview. Okay, it's going to look very nice, you see. It is already very, very professional and easier for the eye to see the important stuff that we need to do when we are on this page. Perfect. You can see this. It's going to work very well. We can see that we just need to change here the color of this button and the styling. Okay. And the rest is looking fine for me. Okay, great. We just need to enhance a little bit more here the styling of this element, but it's going to be very easy to do that. And let's go on. Okay. Now I'm going to need to enhance the order summary, which is this one, you see. And actually, I'm going to the sections and going back to the content. And I want to avoid this to be sticky for now. I'm just going to change a little bit the behavior. Then I will see if later I make it sticky, maybe later. Okay. I'm going now to the order summary, okay, which is exactly with this part here. And I'm going to change the rows gap. I want them to be a little bit more narrow so that they're going not to take up too much space, as you see here. So I'm going to try with 5 pixels, maybe 10 pixels. Okay, I think this is cool. And the items color is going to be different. In my case, I will try with the text gray that I'm using. Okay, and the titles, I'm going to change a different color for variations, for example. Actually, no, I think that for variations, I'm going to use this one. And for my items, I'm going to use a little bit more visible color like this one. Okay, perfect. This is going to be the variation color. Typography is going to be my text small. Okay, and I'm going to change also my titles color now. Okay, the variation is going to be the same here. Okay, perfect. Now my dividers, if you want, you can also add some dividers. Look, if I put this to 1, I see the dividers in place. I can assign a subtle color, like for example, this one, like this is going to work very well. And I can change also the, yeah, I can keep it like this. My titles, they're going to be like this, okay? Then I'm going to change the typography of my titles to be coherent with all the rest. I'm going to try this buttons is going to be a little bit too much, I think. I'm going to try this one, actually. Okay, it looks fine. And I'm going to change here my divider total color, okay? Okay, this one I can enhance the weight, okay? And I can change the color to be also a border light. And it's going to look fine for me, okay? Let's keep it actually 1 pixel, okay. Publish. Let's have a quick preview here, like this. Okay, it is better, you see? It is a little bit better now. We can, actually we can increase, I think, the spacing between the elements of 5 pixels. So let's go back up here. Let's make it a little bit more like 15 pixels. Okay. It's going to look a little bit more organized like this. Okay, beautiful. Let's go back here. And then we see that when we scroll down, we have the purchase button that we can style differently. Okay, I do not know why they didn't make it global, but yeah, this is how it is. Let's change the typography to be my buttons and navigation typography. All right, which is a little bit bigger. Then we have the text color, which is going to be white. It's okay for me, so I'm going to use global white. And I'm going to change also the background now to be different and to use my global buttons color, which is this one. Okay. I'm going to change the border radius, but actually I think that it is already using the global radius, but to be sure, I'm going to make it here. Border radius. All right, I have it in place now, perfect. And I'm going to make sure that the hover is going to be different. So let's go to the hover settings. And let's change the text color. Okay. It's going to behave like this. Okay, beautiful. Publish. Let's check our preview now. And this is going to be the style of our checkout. It looks very, very nice. Completely different from our starting point, you remember. So just by doing this, your checkout is going to be already quite well optimized, you see? And now let's take it a step forward. Now, if you are okay with this new checkout, you can also assign it as the main checkout of your store. It is already functioning and you can already make some tests to see how this is going to work. Let's go and do that. We're going now to our settings and make sure now that this is going to be the actual checkout in order also to be able to do all the advanced modifications and all the advanced customizations that we're going to do in this second part of the video. So let's go and do that. Site settings here, we're going to WooCommerce here. And we see that we can actually assign a different page as a checkout. In my case, I will assign this new checkout as my main checkout. Of course, remember to do this only after testing properly the checkout. All right, let's save changes. And I'm going just to see now and visit my website on the front end. I'm going here. I'm just going to visit my website and try to add some products to the cart and see how this is going to behave in terms of checkout. So I have my products now in my cart. I can go to the checkout. So now we see that the checkout is working fine. We also have our quick payment methods that are appearing automatically here. I have configured them in a separate tutorial if you need to do that. And it is the tutorial where I explain to you how you can create a complete e-commerce with WooCommerce and Elementor Pro. So in case you need to do a refresh of your knowledge in that direction, I invite you to check my full tutorial in the description below on how to create an e-commerce website with WooCommerce and Elementor Pro. That said, the checkout is working, and now in the second part of the video, we're just going to take this a step forward. We're going to make this look beautiful. We're going to change here the way that you can display the layout of this billing details. We're going also to enhance the way that the dropdown is going to be shown, and we're going to enhance the design of the Stripe payment method that looks pretty ugly, as you can see, with all this borders and strange stuff around. And I'm also going to show you here how you can show the latest reviews of your customers and some security badges like the one that we have here at the top. We're going to do all this by using my free resources that you find linked in the description box down below. And by clicking on the link, you can subscribe here for free. Please also provide your name written well, like this, with a capital letter, because I'm going to use this data to send you my weekly WordPress tutorials newsletter. Subscribe and access now. Of course, you can unsubscribe at any time. And then you will find all my code snippets right here. And here you can find some precious links. For example, you can see that there is a Cloudways hosting plan link that you can access in case you want to test this powerful hosting provider for your e-commerce websites. And you can easily switch to Cloudways using my 30% coupon, which is included in this link. Basically, you click here, you can create here your free account. As you can see, the promo code has been applied successfully. You will be accessing 3-day free trial that you can use in case you want to test the services. And then you can transfer all your websites directly to Cloudways if you need to do so. And you will have a 30% discount for the first 3 months included in this link. Then you have the Elementor Pro link in case you need to upgrade your license, and also the Elementor AI link. Down here, we have the code snippets that I'm using in the video. Let's go and start from this simple CSS code. Let's copy it and go to our checkout page. From here, I'm just going to edit this page with Elementor right now. And when the Elementor editor is open, I can go to the page settings that I also remember that they might be also transferred to the upper left side of the page. So if you do not find them here, you will find the icon here to access the page settings. We go to the advanced tab and we simply copy and paste here our custom CSS. Let's go and see what is going to change. You see, this is the Stripe box with the payment methods, and it is a little bit ugly. just by pasting this code here is going to behave like this. Beautiful. No borders, no strange paddings, just our card number, expiration date, and security code ready to be filled by our customers. And if you want to, I will leave you also a version number 2, so a little bit different from the first one, that will create a checkout like this. The payment method when you use Stripe is going to look like this, a little bit different. Keep in mind that this is going to work just with Stripe if you're using it on your e-commerce. If you're not using it, it is not, of course, useful. But as you can see here, look at the difference. When we are not using the CSS, pretty ugly. When we are using the CSS, beautiful, modern, and also easier to fill and to look at for our customers. Let's publish this, and let's, of course, as always, check it out from the front end. So we go to the checkout page. Let's have a look in the front end, how this is going to behave, and it's going to look very nice. Now let's go and see how you can change the behavior of the billing details. We can change the layout and also the order of the details. For example, we want our email to be ready to be filled here as a field, not at the end of this section as WooCommerce puts it, you see? So your email address, we're going to place it up here, and we're going also to remove some elements or to place them differently. Let's go and do that together. I'm going to my checkout here and I enable my settings. And as I can see here in the billing details, I can not do much stuff inside here. In the street address, here I can do nothing except just changing the title of the section. For example, here I can write your, and it's going to look like this, your billing details. But if I need to change the behavior of these fields here, I need to add some custom code. Let's publish, and before adding the code, just for completion of knowledge, you must know that if you open up the customizer here when you are on the checkout page, and you go and check out WooCommerce, you have a minimum of impact in the checkout fields when you open up the checkout from here, and you can change, for example, the company name field behavior, which is this one. You can select here if you want it to be hidden, if you want it to be required, or if you want to be optional. You can also decide to hidden or not the address line number two field. If you make it, for example, optional, you will see it will be appearing here. Now, in my case, I do not need it, so I will just make it optional or hidden. In my case, I will hide it. You have also the option to hide or show the phone field. In my case, I'm not collecting this kind of data from my customers. I do not need it. In the eventuality that you need it, you can make it optional, for example, and it will be appearing now on the top here. Where is it? Phone, near the email address, but you have no more control than that, you see? All the rest is pretty impossible to configure and to change. Everything is hard-coded like this. So let's publish now, and let's see how you can add some custom code. In this case, it's going to be a custom PHP code that you can edit to change a little bit of things inside the checkout fields. Let's go and do that. We're going to the back dashboard of our website, and in this dashboard we are going to install a new plugin if you already do not have one, which is going to be a plugin to manage your code snippets. So if you already had one, just go ahead with that one. If you do not have a code snippets plugin, just go to plugins, add plugin, and type code snippets. You will find many different plugins from the screen. There is this one, and so on. The one that I'm using, actually I use two of them. I use Fluent Snippets for lightweight projects, or I use WP Codebox for more intense and advanced projects. So in this case, if you want, you can go ahead and install Fluent Snippets, which is free, by the way, so it's very useful and easy to use, of course. And once the plugin is installed, we can activate it. And now you will be able to create a simple code snippet. We can scroll down here, go to Fluent Snippets, and we can create our first snippet. It's going to be a PHP snippet, so just a functions PHP, and we're going to copy it from my free resources. It is going to be the first one here, a snippet that is going to change the working of the layouts and of the elements in the checkout. So let's copy it. We're going to copy and paste the code inside here. Just be sure to remove the second PHP because there are two tags. Yeah, I have two tags PHP. I do not need this one actually. Okay, I can remove it. Let's remove also the space here. And I can give it a name. This is going to be just enhance WooCommerce billing fields. You can give it a description, also assign a group, for example, WooCommerce
so that we're going to assign all our snippets to the same group. And you can give it a priority and a tag also. In this case, we will leave it like this. Let's create the snippet and let's make sure to activate it. Let's click on activate. All right, it's going to be published now. And we're going to check how this is going to work in the front end. So basically, we're going to reload the page now. And as you can see here, my email address and my phone have been placed above. So they're no more at the end of this section, but they are here where you should expect them when you are creating an advanced checkout form. So this is going to work fine in the desktop view. And also if you enable your responsive mode, you will see that the fields, they're going to stack correctly 100% length when you are on mobile, and they're going to they're going to follow now the new order. So we have the first name, last name, we have the company, email, and phone. Beautiful, right? How you can go and edit them is pretty easy. You just go to your code snippet and you will see inside the code that you have some pretty well commented lines. And basically here, for example, you can change the width of your field. In my case, I have the first name and last name that are 50 left and 50 right. The billing email is 50 left, the billing phone is 50 right. The billing country is 100%, and all the other fields in my case are 100%. If you want to change here the length of all the fields, you can just change, for example, 50 country. You can put it, let's go and check it out. Of course, if you start working with all the other fields, keep in mind that it can be quite tricky because some countries have province and states and regions. Some other countries do not have them, and sometimes WooCommerce plays those data in a different way depending on the country. So it can be quite tricky to get a beautiful, good-looking layout. So my suggestion is to work mostly on these fields and leave all the country and address fields 100%. This is my suggestion. But in the case that you want to change also those elements, you know that you can go and edit them right here. Let me do a quick example. Let me show you, for example, let me check here, for example, if I have this code here of the company name. All right. Now here I also have my billing company, and you will find it in your code. And what if I want to change the order, the position of this billing company name, and also maybe the length? So I may just wanted to make it 50%, for example. Here in the first part, I just can change the width. So let's say that instead of 100, I want it to be 50 left. I'm going to type like this. And when I update a snippet and I reload the page here, I will see it like this. But the problem is that all the other fields, they're going to just follow. So as you can see, the email now has been put in like this and so on. So I need to change also the others. If I want to keep the company like this, but also change all the other fields behavior, I just need to adjust here, for example, the billing email. Instead of use it like this, I will use it a 50 right, and the billing phone now I will use a 15L. So update snippet and reload the page. Let's purge the cache. And it's going to work fine. You see now the layout is preserved. So we have our first name, last name, company name, email address, and phone, for example. Now, if I want to change the positioning of these fields, for example, I want to place the company name at the end here, or maybe just at the end of the form, I can do that just by switching the position down here. So this is the order by priority. And here, for example, I just copy and pasted the billing company at the end of this list, and I use a number higher than the others. So in my case, 99. Let's update the snippet and see what happens. When I reload the page, I will see that the billing company field has been placed at the end. Very easy. But now what happens that I have those two fields that are working not very well. I just need to go and change the left and right solution. So the email, in my case now, should be again left. All right, not right, but left. And also the billing phone should be, in my case, right. All right. When I update my snippet now and I reload the page here, I will see that the layout is going to behave correctly now. Beautiful, right? And if you want, you can change also your billing company layout and so on. In my case, I will keep it like this. I will keep the company at the bottom. And yeah, I'm going to enhance now the way that I'm going to display this dropdown, since it's not very nice, actually. I can do that. I can change the display settings here just by copying and pasting another code. So I'll go back to my Fluent snippets. I go to snippets and I click on new snippet. And I simply paste a new PHP snippet that you can take from my free resources. It's going to be the second snippet here. WooCommerce select to styling. Let's copy it.
Actually, this one is going to be not a PHP but a CSS file. So we're going to copy and paste here our CSS. Let me check it out. All right. And we're just going to create this snippet, right? Oh, we're going to name it enhance, select dropdown in WooCommerce. Then we're going to select our group WooCommerce. And if you want to be sure that this is going to work only in the front end, we can go and leave it in the front end. Beautiful. Okay. And you can even enable conditional logic if you want to be sure to fire this snippet only on specific pages and the conditions. Let's add a condition, which is going to be just page. And this page is going to be just a simple URL. And we're going to paste inside here our checkout page. In my case, the URL of my checkout page is this one. So I will copy it here. And in your case, of course, make sure to copy the checkout URL exactly here. Let's go and see if this is going to be created correctly. So we create a snippet, we activate it. All right. Then when we go to the checkout, instead of seeing this, when we reload the page, we should see a new design for our dropdown. Let me go and reload the page. All right. And it's working fine, you see? So we have this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dropdown now working in a really nice way. The design is different. It works well. And if we go here and select the country, we're going to see it correctly. All right. And it's gonna look beautiful. If you want, you can change also the border radius here just by editing the code. You go back to Fluent Snippets and you see that, for example, you have the border radius, which is going to be 8 pixels, but you can change it from here. For example, let's say that we want it 4 pixels. We update a snippet. We reload the checkout here. And we're going to see that now it is respecting the new 4 pixels border radius throughout the whole content. Beautiful. And of course, we can also make the height of these fields respect the other heights of the other fields that we have on our checkout. The height here is 40 pixels. And so we're going back to our snippet and we're going to use here 40 pixels instead of 48. So you can just customize it based also on your design needs, of course. Reload the page, and now the dropdown is respecting this new setting for our height. And you can go on here, also change the border radius color, which is going to be, in my case, a different one. In my case is D1, D1, D1. All right, update. And we're going to see it applied correctly. Look how beautiful now this dropdown is integrating with the rest of the checkout. And you can also change the background color that you're using here to highlight all the different elements. And you can make it more similar to the one that you're using on your website, for example, just by changing the color here. In my case, I'll copy and paste a color here, which is going to be different. This one, a light gray color. Update snippet. And when I go here and reload the page, I will see that now my color is going to be this one. A really subtle gray that is going to work like this, and is going to be very elegant and simple. So now we're going to have a beautiful and well-designed section for our building details. And we can go on to the next steps, where I'm going to show you how you can insert down here a review of your latest customers, and also repropose here the same badges that we have here, or any other kind of badges that you want to paste here to increase the security and trust feeling for your customers. Now I'm going to show you how you can insert any template, any Elementor template, after the billing information in WooCommerce checkout. This is pretty cool and important if you want to enhance the trust feeling of your customers by putting here a customer review, for example, or some trust badges, anything you need to put here to make your checkout experience more pleasant and more trustworthy. Okay, let's go and see how this is going to work. We're going to create a new template in Elementor. So let's create a complete new template. And we're going to insert here whatever you want to show at the bottom of your checkout billing details. So in my case, it's going to be latest customer reviews, trust badges. Let's create this by editing with Elementor. Okay. And let's keep it simple for now and just keep also the page settings without header and footer. So just Elementor Canvas. And we're going to keep inside here just a simple test. So we're going to add a flexbox container and a heading content, just to see if this is going to work fine. We publish. We are going to copy now the ID of the post that we can find to the top here in the URL where we see post equal, and this number is the ID of the post. In my case, is 2337. I'm going to copy it and paste it into my code. So let's keep it here selected. I go to my free resources. I copy here the code to insert the Elementor template after the building information. I go to my Fluent snippets and I create a new snippet. It's going to be a PHP snippet, so new snippet, PHP. I'm going to copy the code here. Make sure also to disable here the tag because there is already one here to the top. And we're going to substitute this number here with our actual template ID, which is in my case 2337. All right, let's keep it here, 2337. All right, I'm going to create the snippet now. I'm going to give it a name. It's going to be just, okay, save. If you want, you can also increase performance here by saying only front end only and enabling conditional logic and telling the system here to show this snippet, to run the snippet actually only in specific pages. Let me check here if I can type my checkout page actually. Yes, I can. This is my checkout page. It is my checkout page in this moment, okay? In your case, you should assign the specific checkout page that you are using. Now that I have my number here in place, I can activate this, all right? Remember to activate it, otherwise it's not going to work. And we're going to the checkout and we're going to reload the page and you're going to see that here, we're going to see now our content, which is at the moment just this heading text. Let's go and reload the page here. And it's gonna work fine, perfect. Add your heading text here, perfect. Now, instead of using this to add a heading, of course, we can change it and we can add inside here whatever we want using Elementor. Let's do that. I'm going to use the star rating here and I'm going to change the style. Actually, I want to change also the content because I want a different icon here. I have uploaded my custom icons. Let me check the stars. This one is better and I'm going to use it. And it's going to be 5, not 5. Yes, 5 is okay. The rating is going to be 5. Okay. And my icon is going to be, yeah, correctly like this. Let's change the style. The size is going to be bigger. So let's say, for example, 40 pixels. And I'm going to align everything to the center. I'm going to increase a little bit more the spacing. And I'm going to align to the center. Okay, to align, I just need to go here. Perfect. And the color is going to be also different. We're going to use a color that I'm using also throughout the website. This one is cool, or if I want, I can also... Yeah, this one actually is cool. I can keep this one. And I can go here and add a text now. This is going to be the text of my review, actually. All right. Let's go and place it to the center. I'm going now to the typography here to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. And then I'm going to add a picture, the picture of my customer. Okay. I'm going to use a picture that I have on my website. Let's use this one, for example. I'm going to assign a custom width, a custom dimensioning. That will be this one. I'm going to the style tab and I'm going to assign a border radius or a mask. To the advanced tab, I can also assign here a mask. I go here and place it like this. Yeah, nice. Like this. Let me check a mask that will work fine here. I think that the rounded one will, okay, just simple as that. I'm going to change a little bit in the style, the width, which is going to be in pixels, just 90 pixels, okay. And actually the color here, I do not like it very much, so I will keep it even more simple by using this secondary color. And I'm going to publish and see how this is going to work in the checkout actually. So let's reload our checkout page and it's going to work like this. It works already very well, as you can see. If you want, you can also paste other reviews. You can change the design style. You can do whatever you want, of course, here. And yeah, instead of using those stars here that seems to be hidden, yeah, just empty, I'm just going to change the icon. I'm going to increase the padding and margin here. The padding, actually, I'm going to use 2 rem. And I'm going to change also the style of the background. To make it stand out a little bit more, I'm going to use a light color, actually this one, and I'm going to assign also a border radius. So I'm going to the advanced tab and I'm going to assign a border, to the style tab, and I'm going to assign a border radius right here. All right, I'm going to keep it simple like this. Okay, publish. Let's go and see how this is going to behave in the front end now. And wow, beautiful, right? So easy as that. And you have your beautiful review just here beside the payment section, which is very important. And when we are on mobile, we just can check how this is going to behave. Just inspect. All right, we have our beautiful review, and it's going to be just before the order summary. And then we have all the rest. Works very well. In case you do not want to show this on mobile, you just need to select the responsive settings when you are here. You select the whole container, you go to advanced, and you simply decide, for example, on mobile in the responsive settings to hide it. So for example, when we are on mobile, we're not going to see that review. Easy as that. So when I reload the page, you see that on mobile, I do not have that review anymore. I just go straight to the order summary and to the rest. While when I go and I am on desktop, I see the review perfectly like this. Now below the review, you can also repropose, for example, all those badges here to increase also the trust sensation here at the end of the checkout. And you can get creative and basically you can achieve any results you want by putting inside here important stuff for you, of course. And now let's finish this tutorial with the last touch, which is a usability touch. Yes, in general, a user experience stuff. We need to take the user easily back to the cart if he needs to do so. So let's do that. We're just going to open up Elementor here, and we're going to place a button to the top left side of the screen. We can do it in many different ways. We can use an absolute positioning, or we can create a new container. Let's create a new container here to the top. It's going to be a Flexbox container from left to right. And we're going to insert our button here. It's going to be like this. It's going to be a simple button. And we're going to style it so that it's not going to be like this. So it's not going to grab too much of the attention. It's going to be simply a link to our cart page, in my case, so that the user can go back to the cart. Here, we're going to write back to the cart like this. And maybe we're going to also use an icon. In my case, I will use an arrow. I have this kind of arrows here, right? And so that the user knows that they can go back to the cart easily. But let's change the styling, because this should keep also consistent with not grabbing too much the attention of the user. So we change the typography to be a small typography. I'm using here a global small typography with, where is the global text here, is this one. I think it's good, this one, yeah, it will work fine. And I'm going to change that, just my text color. I'm going to use the soft gray text. I'm going to remove the background. So my background type is going to be just transparent in my case. Okay. And I'm going to make sure also to not use the, how do you say, the border. So the border is going to be none. All right. And I'm going also to remove all the padding, 0 everywhere. And that's it. So it is already working fine. If you want to make it look even better, we can assign to this container here a full width. So instead of using boxed, we make it full width so that the button really is going to, stuck on the left. And we're going also to make the width 90%. Okay, so that, 90, it's actually a little bit, let's go 95. Okay. Let's publish now and let's see how this is going to behave in the front end. All right, as you can see, the button is now here to the top left. It works fine. And yeah, the user can easily go back to the cart if he wants, if he or she wants. Beautiful. We go back to the cart, to the checkout page here, and you see it like this. Perfect. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give me a thumbs up, and I would love to read your comment down below. Give me your feedback or just tell me if you found this tutorial useful or if you have any question. I will be very happy to read you in the comments and to reply to you. Remember to check my full Elementor Pro and WooCommerce tutorial, which is right here. It is a huge tutorial, 12 hours, where I explain to you step by step everything you need to know to create a high converting and professional e-commerce using WooCommerce and Elementor Pro. I hope to see you in this video or in some of my other videos on WP Roads YouTube channel or on my website wproads.com. Wish you all the best with your WordPress projects and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!